We have a good foundation of an Android project now. What we used to do, especially in an academic environment, is zip things up and then make them available on a zip. But the problem is, first of all, it's redundant because as you make an incremental change to a program, you have to zip the entire program up and that wastes space. Secondly, it's difficult to compare one project to another. So what we do now that's a lot more effective is we use distributed source code or distributed version control software like Git and Mercurial. The advantage of that is that you can host it in a location where multiple people can access it. And you can also easily compare one change to another because every time you upload, you're making a change and you're uploading that entire change set. So in this video, what we're going to do is create an account on github.com. I believe it's .com, maybe it's .org actually, I didn't look. And then we're going to take the project that we've done so far and upload it there. And then throughout this term, as we make changes to the project, I'll just push up the changes. You can go online and see exactly what I did. You don't have to open up a zip file and do all kinds of crazy stuff like that. So we start with github.com, and what you'll see is that a personal plan, you can have an unlimited number of public repositories. So that's repositories that are publicly available. And that's fine for us because those, I want everybody to be able to see it. I don't have any secrets. It should be easy enough just to go to this repository and look at what I've been working on. So I'm going to go ahead and choose sign up now. If it asks for personal information, again, I'm at github.com. If it asks for any personal information, I'll pause the video for a moment as I fill this out. But we'll go ahead and fill out an account, and then we'll create a repository, and then we will push our project to that repository. Okay, username, I'll put in my all-purpose username, DiscoSpiff. Email address, let's see. Oh, come on. Don't tell me someone already took my username. Okay. In that case, we'll use my alternative all-purpose username, UCInternet2. Okay, email address. You know, and that probably DiscoSpiff probably is me. It's probably just, let's see. Go with the other email. Yeah, that, oh, yep, okay. See, looks like I've already signed up. So, okay then. That looks easy enough. Maybe I should just try signing in. In any case, you see where you could go sign up for an account if you wish. Okay, so I'm going to look for a sign in here. And just a moment. And I see a sign in button. It's a little bit hidden, so I'm going to need to scroll it over. And let's see, sign in. I did experiment with GitHub probably a couple years ago, so that's probably what it saw. Okay, let's try the old DiscoSpiff and my all-purpose password, Snoopy14. Of course, I'm kidding. That's not really my password. And let's see what it gives us. Sure enough, it looks like it's logging me on. Okay, and what we'll see now is we'll simply choose Create Repository. Make a new repository on GitHub. Okay, click New Repository. Okay. Okay, DiscoSpiff, and we're going to call this one 14SS Plant Places. Whoops. There we go. Okay, Plant Places for Intro to Android. And we'll go ahead and make this public. We do not want to initialize the file with a README. We're going to push our existing Android project out to this repository, so we don't need to initialize it. I'm going to choose Create Repository. And what it gives me now is it gives me a link. If I click this, it's going to copy that link into my clipboard. Okay, and I can use this to push my project out to GitHub. I will put this link on Blackboard so that you can very easily fetch this project from GitHub as well. Okay, with that copied, I'm going to go back to Eclipse now. I'm going to right-click, and I'm going to choose Team, and I'm going to choose Share Project. Okay, you only need to initialize GitHub one time. After that, what you're going to do is you're going to be pushing the same project out there. We'll go ahead and choose Git. This is fine. I'm going to choose Next. Okay. Repository. Okay, we'll use the default option here. Everything else looks good. I'm going to choose finish. What we're doing is this is a distributed version control system, which means that there's not a central repository. We can have a repository anywhere. In this case, the repository is going to live on my computer, and then I'll simply synchronize it with GitHub. One trick that I have found is that when I make a Git repository, I tend to get this red exclamation on an Android project. The way to fix that is usually to go into build path and then configure build path. Okay, what you'll see is that Android private libraries it doesn't recognize. I'm going to go to libraries, Android private libraries, and for whatever reason, it can't find Android support v4 jar. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose remove. Okay, then I'm going to choose add external jar, and I need to go find this jar and add it into my project. Once I do that, everything works okay. It's just, and I haven't explored why, but as soon as you make this a Git project, this one path goes out of whack for some reason. So what I'm going to do now, I know I need to go to my Android SDK location. Okay, oh, it keeps bouncing away. Sorry, I keep trying to center this, and I think it doesn't like the screen capture software. So I'm going to go to C, Programs, and I have to remember where I put my Android SDK. I thought I put it right under Programs. Maybe I didn't. Okay. Well, there's an easy way to find out, actually. I'm going to close. If you want to find out where your Android SDK is, just go to Windows Preferences, and then click on Android. And we'll see here, okay, see users Brandon Android SDK. Okay, got it there. So once again, right click, and I'm going to choose build path, configure build path. Okay, we're going to fix this now. Go back to libraries, add external jars. Now I'm going to choose C, users, Brandon. Under Brandon, I'm going to choose Android SDK. Under Android SDK, I'm going to choose extra, and then Android, and then support, and then v4. Okay? Again, that full path for me is C users Brandon Android SDKs, but it's wherever your Android SDK is installed. You might have chosen a different location than I chose. Then it's under extras, Android support v4, Android support v4 jar, and open. Okay? And it looks like that guy snuck back in, so let me remove him. And okay. And we'll give it a second to refresh itself. Okay, disconnect from the debugger. And we should be good now. We should be all set now. Okay. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to right click. Notice we no longer get that red exclamation. I'm going to right click. I'm going to choose team, and I'm going to choose commit. This is our initial commit where we're deciding which files we're going to push to the repository. We generally push only source files. We typically won't push files that are compiled. Okay, this box comes up. Commit message, we'll just say initial commit. Now what's important is you notice we still haven't pushed out to the central repository. Right now we're only pushing out to our local repository. Okay, I'll go ahead and click anything like this. We have some class path. We have some PNGs here. You can, if you wish, it's better to add more than less. It's better to put too much in than not enough. So, it might even be best to just go ahead and check them all with this little widget here. And then if you want, you can selectively uncheck certain files that end with class. But you know what? If you want, go ahead and just commit everything if that's easier for you. It's usually we don't commit compiled files, but in this case, for simplicity, we'll go ahead and commit all. So I choose commit. Okay, this is committing to my local machine. What's nice about this is this gives me history on my local machine, so I always have the option of going back if I make a mistake, if I want to see a previous version, something like that. And for that reason, we really don't put commented code in programs because we can always do a version-to-version comparison. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to right-click and I'm going to say team again. And this time I'm going to say remote, and this time I'm going to say push. So team, right click on the project, team, remote, and push. What this will do is this will allow me to push out, and I have no idea how it knew that, but somehow it knew my URI. That's really wild. In any case, it has pre-populated the URI with the URI that I have in GitHub. If you didn't get that, go ahead and hit copy to clipboard. Go ahead and hit copy to clipboard and then paste it in here. This is pushing it up to the central repository. Now what I need to do is I need to enter my username and password. So I'll say discospiff, and of course my super secret, super secure password. We'll go ahead and secure it in the secure store. Now I'm going to choose next. Okay. I'm going to choose add all branches. Next. I'm going to choose finish. Sit back and relax for a moment. And let it go ahead and process. Now I get a confirmation message that it did indeed push, so I choose OK. Now here comes the cool part. I'm going to go back to GitHub. I'm going to click on my repository, and we're going to get a slightly different view. Oh my, okay. It actually pushed more than I thought. It pushed all of the projects I have in Eclipse, including... Oh, I see what happened. Okay, it pushed all the projects I have in Eclipse, including this one that we're working on. If we click on here, we go into source, we can click down to com, and you see this is all online. It's all publicly available for anybody to view. Search plants activity. You can see the exact activity we were just working on with our description and our value, our sum, and everything. You can go in there and view it all you want. From now on, all the changes I do, I'll push straight up there. Another option that's honestly very easy, and once again, I'm going to provide that URL to you, the Git URL. But another option that's very easy to do is you can import this project directly into Eclipse. Now, as luck would have it, I've already created a project in a different GitHub environment. UC has a GitHub environment, and if you're a UC student, you're welcome to use this. I'm going to go to github.uc.edu. A little note here, why does UC have its own GitHub environment? First of all, it's a smart thing to do. Secondly, while a lot of times Cincinnati as a city gets a bad rap for being not tech savvy, many times that rap is undeserved. If we go down here and click on About, one of the founders of GitHub is Chris Wansrath, who was a UC student and then formed GitHub after leaving UC. So younger than I am. He was a student when I was a professor and left UC several years ago, created GitHub. UC asked him to come back when they kicked off a mobile app development incubator, and he very kindly came back, even on his own dime. Came back, spoke to the university, big supporter. So, little plug for GitHub, and no surprise, UC has its own GitHub. Okay, so let's go and look at a repository that I made earlier this week for a different class I'm teaching, an advanced class. The repository I made was Plant Places 14SS Advanced. I'm going to click on this, and I am going to look for the link for this. Of course, as luck would have it, the link is just slightly off screen. So if I scroll over here, here's our GitHub URL. I choose copy to clipboard. Okay. Now I'm going to go back to Eclipse. In Eclipse, we're certainly permitted to have more than one Android project. So now what I'm going to do in Eclipse, again, I'm looking at the other side now. I'm looking earlier I took a project I had, I put it up to GitHub. Now I'm going the other way. Now I'm taking a GitHub project that's not in this Eclipse environment. I'm going to bring that project into the Eclipse environment. So I'm going to choose File and Import. Okay, and I'm going to choose Git, and I'm going to choose Projects from Git. I'm going to choose Next. I'm going to choose URI because I'm actually grabbing this project from a URI from over the internet. Okay, I'm going to, and again, it's smartly figured out because I guess I pasted in the buffer the URL for the project. In this case, it's github.uc.edu/jonesbr/plantplaces14ss advanced.git. Now I need to enter my username and password. In this case, because I'm using the GitHub that's at UC, I need to use my UC credentials, my central login credentials for UC. So I type in jonesbr and my UC password, and I choose next. And master is fine. I choose next again. That's fine. I choose next again. We'll give it a moment to process. And next, import existing projects. That's fine. Okay. Import projects and finish. Sit back and relax for a moment, and we'll see we have, sure enough, Plant Places 14SS Advanced. And again, no surprise here, it's still having a trick with that library. I can fix that one more time. I can go to Build Path, Configure Build Path, and we've seen this before. Okay, and I can take away this Android support. That one I can explain because that one I actually committed from UC, so it would have had a different path. Now I'm going to choose Add External Jars. Okay, and guess what? Here we are from the last time we did this. Choose Open, choose OK. Give it a second to process, and we should be in good shape. Okay, I'll look at markers. It looks like it still has a couple issues here, which should be pretty easy for me to sort out. But nonetheless, you see, that's how we can, what I can probably do, honestly, is just to clean the project, and usually that will take care of everything. If not, listen, I will investigate a little bit further. As you see, it's very easy to create a GitHub project. And now what's really nice about that is as I make changes, you can see those changes happen. So let's go to Search Plants Activity from the project we've been working on. Okay, and what I'm going to do, well, I mentioned that we're actually going to use this as a mock of the live plant places, and that doing this whole sum routine was kind of just a silly exercise. What I can do now is I can remove the sum routine, okay, and the call to the method and the method itself, just clean things up a little bit, and get us ready to actually make this a plant GPS app. Okay. Oh, well, doesn't like that. Search plants activity has been deleted, is not accessible. Okay, well, let's see if we can choose that. I wasn't expecting that. Okay, not sure why it didn't like that. But in the end, I think we're good. I'm going to Control M. I'm going to right click. I'm going to choose Team and then Commit. Okay, remove the sum method and its parts. Okay, and commit. Okay, now I'm going to right click and I'm going to say team, and I'm going to say remote, and I'm going to say push. Okay, let's see. So we want to push this out to the UC to the general GitHub. Okay, so I'm going to replace, and we'll go like so. Okay, and enter my GitHub credentials, and next. Add all branches, and next. Okay, confirm the push result. That looks good, and finish. Pushing to remote repositories. Push results. Looks like we're good, and choose OK. Okay, now we go back to the GitHub repository again. Go to Plant Places. Okay. Latest commit. You see we have our commit here. I click on this and take a look. It shows exactly what changed. It shows that the red items were removed, and it shows the green items were changed. So add a line and make a slight change here. So it shows us exactly the differences between my most recent commit and the commit prior to it. This is really valuable stuff. So this is something that we'll use quite a bit. We'll use quite a bit while we are developing, especially in a team-based environment. Okay, good stuff. So I've had a lot of success with Git and with its cousin Mercurial, and I suspect that you'll find a lot of value in it as well. So if we click here, we can find the original case of everything. And then if we go back, we can see the changes that I made. These changes were pretty simple because the changes were only one file. Where Git and Mercurial really shine is where you change several files at once, because it can see a relation among those files and it recognizes it all as one change. So all good stuff. Hope you enjoy it. And next we're going to take a look at intents, explicit and implicit intents. Thank you.